welcome back to the Freedom Pivot podcast. It's Hannele here. Today's episode is one of those conversations that touches something deeper. It's about rebuilding after life as you knew it falls apart. I'm joined by Heli Katajamäki, the founder of Avec Heli Events, a boutique agency creating high hospitality executive events across Finland, the Nordics, Europe, and the Middle East. Entrepreneurship wasn't a childhood dream for Heli. It became her freedom pivot. Building her own business and making her own money was what allowed her to stand on her own 2 feet and leave a toxic relationship. In this episode, we talk about rebuilding after crisis, the role of money and self-worth in reclaiming your life, and how turning pain into purpose can reshape everything. Here's Heli.
So my name is Heli Katajamäki, and I'm a Finnish woman. I work in events, so I have my own business with corporate events, and I'm a mother. I'm a Libra, which tells a lot about me to anyone who knows a bit of astrology. I'm this describes me well because I'm kind of balancing always between 2 worlds. I'm super pragmatic, super organized, super business oriented, but at the same time I'm super drawn to everything kind of in the world that we do not see, like horoscopes, astrology, tarot cards, and so on. I'm not specialist at all, but it's something that is this drawing me to. I think there's a lot in the world that the eyes can see, and a lot how we can see life differently than kind of the norm. I'm super interested in people, so and different culture, people coming from different cultures. So I like to meet people, hear their stories, where they come from, how their life became what it is nowadays, and I love traveling and so on. So kind of international life is something that I really love.
Yeah, and that obviously is then shown in your business. So you say that you are working in this, or your business is about arranging corporate events. Can you tell us something more about that?
Yeah, so I run my own small boutique agency. So I create and manage events for companies, brands, corporations, whether they are like customer sales events, marketing events, there might be executive experiences, there might be company celebrations, galas, award ceremonies. There might be internal employee events or kind of brand experiences for brands who want to deepen their relationship with their customers. So and most of my clients are international nowadays. I have few domestic ones in Finland, but most of them are international companies who arrange events in Finland, or they might arrange events abroad, or their customer base is very international. So most of my work is international events.
What was really striking for me about you and your business was that it feels like you are living your dream right now. Of course, there are many big dreams for you and many big visions that you have, but in a way, this really combines many of the things that you have been dreaming of. Is that right?
Yeah, that's true. This wasn't my like lifetime dream, but it's been like maybe the last 10 years. My dream and the business. Of course, I have still a lot to do and a lot to go with my business, but I have done a lot of things that I wanted to, and I dreamed back in the days, and I really love my work. So of course there are sometimes projects that are tough and hard, but it's like I really lighten up in events when we've been working hard for a long time for event to come together, and then I see people, guests coming, arriving, all the content to be presented, the dinners and so on, and people enjoying their time, the companies getting the results that they looked for. So it's really I'm really uh, lighten up by the actual events still after many years and many events. So yeah, it's kind of my dream work. Still some steps to take, but anyway, yeah.
Yeah, but that's so beautiful and also important to recognize that this is because so many people are still looking for their dream and what would be my dream, and you have really found it, and the way it beautifully captures the human side and the people and then also the business. So it's
Yes.
really, really, really beautiful.
Yeah, and I think events are one of the best marketing tools to really connect with people, because marketing nowadays is not just ads or like one way road. So I think event as a marketing and strengthening the customer relationship is really a great tool. And what I really kind of my I feel my purpose is to take this business as well even closer to the people, and still more to the purpose and connecting with the people, instead of only delivering content and and having events as a sales tool, but more like from human to human. And yeah, so that's kind of my my vision.
That's perfect. That's perfect. I want to be in your events.
Yeah.
But maybe you can share more about your story, your own story. What happened before you founded your own business, and who were you? What did your life look like, or
Yeah.
where did this all start? Your story.
Yeah. So I think I had really super normal life and early adulthood. I was working in a normal job. I used to work within sports, so with few sports organizations, normal 9 to 5, and nothing special in my life. Kind of, I felt it was super normal. But now when I think of myself back then, I feel like okay, I didn't know anything about life. So and honestly, nowadays I feel that people, my friends in their 30s, in their 35, they are super much more aware of life and stuff than I was back then. So yeah, so I worked in my 9 to 5, but I felt like I couldn't really. There was some like values that I felt that wasn't aligned in my work. I felt a bit overworked. I felt kind of the organizations were not something that I could reach my full potential. Quite a male-driven world, and I wanted to kind of make something bigger than I was able to do in my roles there. And I was feeling that okay, if I stay here, I will become this grumpy old woman at the office who is snapping at everyone, and so I didn't want to be that person. But obviously it required a lot of courage to leave it. And I was trying to find a way in the middle and to try my own wings, but there was not that option. And at the time, I was as well encouraged by my partner at that time. Um, that's how the life would be, and that I do not have to worry and financial things and so on. I would be supported, which then at the end didn't turn up that way. So that's first when I left, I kind of started to be a freelancer. So I worked still within the project with sports. That's what's kind of familiar for me. But obviously, it takes a bit of time to build your own business. Then I got pregnant. I got another baby, which made a small break in my in my business. And then it took some time for it to start. So I was quite only halfway, not very far, I have to say, when life kind of took an unexpected turn for what I was expecting it to be for long.
Mm. So you started out as a freelancer, and then it was not such a big leap at that point, you feel?
No, yes and no. Obviously, it's a big leap from going from normal 9 to 5, having your holidays, having your monthly salary, to the work that you only get paid when you do something. And if you do not have clients, if you do not have work, then you live with your savings. So yeah, it was scary, and it took time. And honestly, many times that during the first months, I was saying, "Oh my God, what did I do? I should have stayed. I'm crazy." But I have to say that there's not been many moments, even things have not been easy. There has not been many moments that I regret that I left, because I know now it was the step I needed to take, and kind of I'm now on my path. I don't know where it leads me. Maybe there's another path coming, but still, I felt that it was something that I needed to do in my life.
So there was a lot going on outside and also inside, and that's I guess what many entrepreneurs experience, that the internal work is actually the bigger part of the leap. Is that your experience too?
Yeah, I think and I know many entrepreneurs are not maybe as crazy as me. So many start the side hustle during when they have a steady job. They start to try their business, grow it, and once the business is running well, and you see that there's a financial stability available, so then maybe you leave your 9 to 5. I have many examples in my network for this kind of jump, but I just left. I felt I cannot take it anymore. And then I thought that I have the support, like that I will not fall, but yeah. So that's how I did it.
Yeah, let's talk about the unexpected turn, and then when you thought that you wouldn't fall, and then what happened?
Yeah, so it was something like my life when after I left my work in my relationship back then, everything was like looked great outside. Life was very happy. But then internally, what people do not see and what I didn't see as well is that there's something shady. Things are not totally as they look like. And I know my intuition back then already said that, okay, there's this saying, if things are too good to be true, they usually are. So, so yeah, so there was this quiet voice, but I didn't listen, because outside and everything looked fine, and everything was happy. We traveled a lot and lived a good life. But all the time, like there were things that were a little bit weird, a little bit complicated, didn't make sense. And then it was few years later. I was still working part time. My child was very small. That there things took really a major shift. So there was like this a lot of pressure going on, and then this kind of explosion when everything at the end came out. And I found out that my life was not what I thought it was, and what it looked like. Like it was basically how I felt, that it's all is based on a lie. There were big lies about, obviously, our relationship, and about financials, about, I feel, about everything, about people around, people who didn't exist, who I thought as living people, people who didn't know that I existed or my child existed, people who had totally wrong narrative about me, who I am, and all these things. So it was very traumatic. It's like your whole life is pulled like a rug under your feet, and it's like it's difficult to describe when to. I know that there are a lot of us in the world that have experienced the same. But it's difficult to explain. Well, like you do not know anymore, like what your life is, who you are, and what happened. Like how it's very confusing. It's very disturbing. So yeah, that was kind of the first like a real drop in my life.
Yeah, it's difficult to even ask questions about that moment, but I feel like it's so important that these things are shared because so many are experiencing the
Yeah.
same.
Yeah, exactly. And this is actually something because then how things continued was that, obviously there's a lot of words about trusting the future and things will turn good. And back at that time, as I said, I was working part-time. I was taking mostly alone care of a small child. Like we had an apartment that cost more in a month that I earned in a month. So I had used a lot of my savings during setting, like starting my business. As I said, the financials was not what I was kind of told. So I was really in a difficult position, and I was like, okay, but what can I do? Obviously, there's a lot of shame, which I only realized afterwards. There's so much shame of the situation you have ended up that it's difficult to even talk to anyone. It's very difficult to ask for help or ask for support, and I'm always be the one who takes care of my things. I don't ask for help. I don't ask for support. Of course, I had friends who supported me and so on, but anyway, it was not like I could have like I didn't know what to do. So then I thought that if I just try, if I find information, if I'm supportive enough, things will turn to, I can fix this. I really thought I can fix this. But obviously, there started kind of these roller
So you
coaster
thought that
years.
you could fix the relationship, you mean?
Yeah, and my
Mm.
life. Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought I can fix it, and there's reasons behind it, and all these things. But then started the roller coaster years. So things get better until something crashes again, and then they get better until they crash again. And that was hard. Obviously, I knew at that time that I knew that this will not end well, but it was I needed to start to. It took a while for me to. I was kind of blinded still. Manipulation is quite hard to beat. So it took a while for me to understand what's going on and what should I do. And I have to say that's for example, social media is very good tool nowadays because you find a lot of information. It took a long time for me to really find out, okay, what am I talking about? What is happening here? And as I found the information, there's a lot of people talking about these things, a lot of specialists who share really important information. There's a lot of people who have been in the same situation, which is very supporting, knowing, okay, I'm not the only one. This is not my fault. So then I realized, okay, like the finances are something that I need to fix. There's nothing without that. And I remember lying on my bed many nights, not sleeping, and I was kind of visualizing myself like a successful and having my own business that is providing for me and my family. I wrote a lot about my goals, about visualizing my life, and these things that are often thought like really like a bit delulu stuff. It was really, I was writing my goals, I was writing my dreams, I was writing my plans. Yeah, so it was the thought that kept me
What
kept
were
me
your
going.
dreams at that point? What did you write?
Well, my dreams, I remember one of my dreams was to take my kids on an expensive holiday with the money I made alone with my business. And last year we did the expensive holidays. So not to worry about money, for example, not to be scared, not to be worried all the time. Having my own clients, doing the work I love, having international business, and all these were something that I wanted at that time. And of course I started to make practical steps as well regarding the apartment and so on. So yeah, that's kind of that was my freedom pivot. I thought that I will never ever be dependent financially on anyone. And honestly, I never thought I would be in that position because I had always been very astute with money and always took care of myself. I always had savings, but it's hard to explain how. And I know, as I've learned afterwards, most of these women are successful, smart, and then it's very tricky how you end up in a position where you never thought you could be. But yeah, that was something that I thought back then, that, like, I don't know, maybe financial was very concrete way of thinking, easier than to think of your internal world and your mind and your heart and all these things. So maybe that's what I took as my kind of lifeline at that time.
And of course, even if you are like this intelligent and successful woman, of course you have the desire to be loved and find big love in your life. And then if you experience a great relationship, it's not like you did something totally irrational.
Yeah, that's why
Mm.
how I felt it too. And things shift little by little, and you kind of do not realize until you really stop and realize, okay, what has happened. But then afterwards, I really started to focus on my business. Obviously, I had a child to care alone most of the time. So and there was a lot of pressure out from outside as well. Let's like sabotaging my business, not supporting, and it was really not easy. But I always loved my clients. I always loved my work because it was my world. It was the world where I felt that I'm a nice person, where I felt that I'm appreciated for what I do. Because obviously these incidents in life, they take your self-worth really low. You have a lot of shame. You are minimized a lot, like, okay, like, that's such a small business and that's such a small event. Why do you even bother? That's such a small budget. Why do you even do that? But I had to, I kept going. So I remember I wiped my tears and opened my Teams call with my clients, and I did my job. So it was, of course, very stressful times, very, very stressful times. I did little by little, I started to get new clients. I think I managed to do my work well. Even the chaos in my private life kept continuing. And then, I got new jobs, and things started to work out a bit by bit. This is not like a success story. Then I made millions and now we are traveling with private jets. No, not at all. I'm still very much work in progress, and I have still a lot to do with my business and my company. But I'm like I feel I've been on a good road for the last few years.
I think that you are a success story uh, because success is not only about making millions and flying with of course they can be the big dreams, and maybe they are in the you are obviously a very good dreamer because you have already been able to do those things that you were dreaming about when you were in that really difficult spot, but really being successful in making that breakthrough, because you know how hard it is to
Mm,
actually then leave that situation and have build your own foundation and build your own life on your own money, for
mm.
example. I think that's a huge success story.
Yeah, yeah. I hope that too, and I really hope that if my story one day can encourage someone in a somehow similar situation, is that there is a way out.
What kept you going when it was the most difficult?
I don't know. I think the daily life kept me going, and often people said, "Okay, I don't know how you manage to function in these circumstances and do your work and take care of your kids," but it's just like maybe who I am. But I know as well it's kind of a trauma reaction, and we just keep pushing and we keep going. And I think now I'm at the point that I can breathe and I can stop pushing. But it's like you have small kids, you wake up in the morning, you make the breakfast, you take them to wherever they are going for the day, and it's like your daily life keeps running, whatever happens inside your head and in your like a personal life. So, and of course, my goal to get out of the situation I was in, so that kept me going as well. And then I often had this thought that I read back in the day somewhere, that turn your pain into purpose. And I felt always that's not always, not in the beginning, of course, but after I kind of managed to figure out what's going on, that there must be a meaning for my life. Why did I experience what I did? So then I kind of felt that my purpose is to make some beautiful out of all the bad, and somehow it came kind of my purpose as well with my work.
And do you feel that that is what is going on now? Have you been able to turn it into a purpose?
Yeah, not. I don't know if I've still found my purpose. Maybe maybe I find another purpose in the coming years. But I remember a long, long time ago, even before all this happened, I always felt that I have a purpose in this life that I don't know what it is. So I don't know if this one is it, but at least these everything that happened changed me really. So there's Heli before and there's Heli after, and I feel that the way I am now, way I do my business, way I want to do my business is something that are things that I've learned from this period of my life, how I want to work with people, how I want people to feel, how I want people to experience, how I want them to feel supported, and all these things. So these are the things that I want to implement to my work. And then like some small things. It's funny because nowadays I've done a lot of big events, and I love that as well. There's some kind of glamour in doing a big project. But kind of what I'm really fascinated are like smaller events, where you really can connect people, where you really can create shared stories and create new business opportunities as well. And that's funny because I was, pushed down and minimized, okay, such small events, and now I'm like, okay, this is what I want to do. Like smaller events are the way to affect the high level decision makers, for example. They do not go around big exhibition booths or this kind of, if you really want to make an impact and deepen the relationship, it's maybe smaller events. So I kind of started to appreciate what was sometimes told kind of it's my like it's not good or it's not valuable. So yeah, I think that's maybe how these things are affecting my business nowadays.
Yes, it makes total sense, and also the fact that because I feel that there is so much depth in you, like you are not afraid to go deep. And
Mm,
then in the smaller events, of course, those are the ones that are like exclusive experiences and not like these huge mass events. And when you have that courage to really connect with people, that's when the human to human, and if we think about business, that's where the impact happens
mm,
on
yeah.
human level.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah. And then kind of what comes to money, I feel like my business is not targeted to only make money. Like I want to really think of the purpose. And that's why I love to work in my company, because sometimes I get frustrated if I work like as a freelance, um, as a subcontractor for someone, and then the world is really profit oriented. The goal of the event is make profit to whoever is arranging the event. So I kind of want to do my business my way. I want to trust that when the purpose is right, the methods are good, the profit will follow. So even I kind of financials is a big thing, but it's still not my core. Of course, I want to be paid fairly, and I feel being fair is super important in business, and I've left organizations and so on because of fairness. And I really, I'm a strong advocate of being fair to all the people and partners. So I'm looking only for partnering with companies who share the same values and the same purpose, and being fair to everyone in the business. So that said, so of course I want and need my services to be paid like fairly, but it's not like I as well, when I'm running my own budgets, I can, if I want to do something special in an event where the client doesn't, for example, have a budget. So it's my business. I can do it. It maybe I get a bit less profit, but I don't care. If it's something that I feel important, that's something that I think it's good, I can do it. And that's I think why I'm I'm meant to be an entrepreneur, that I really can make my own decisions and balance between the purpose and profit.
Yeah, and I think that there is this misconception sometimes between money and purpose, like they were opposite things. But I think that the money is actually, well, because money is energy, and that is also creating sustainability for the business, and also for making the purpose, or like reaching the purpose. It's not
Mm.
like you have to choose one or the other.
Yeah, but I think there's still not so many companies who really do things this way. And I'm super fascinated, and I always want to meet and talk with people who have a strong purpose in their business, like how they combine the commercial side and the purpose and the values into their business. So I'm super curious about this way of running businesses and this way of making successful businesses. So yeah, I listen a lot of podcasts. I try to meet people within this context.
Yeah, I'm firm believer that is the way to do business now and also in the future, and not to have any purpose at all. That's something in the past. If you only concentrate on making money, that's not very sustainable, and that it doesn't mean anything to you as a
Mm.
person. What would you say about this freedom pivot that you mentioned, that your freedom pivot was actually the point where you started to be more financially independent through your own business? Is that correct?
Yeah.
So money had a big role in that freedom pivot decision.
Yeah, and as I said, it was maybe kind of the easy, tangible, goal that you can have at that point. So yeah, I think it was the moment when I realized that I want to always to stand on my own feet, whether it's emotionally, financially, and or any way in life. And obviously, it creates as well that it's not easy to trust people after these kind of things. So it's as well to build trust in life and other people around you.
What would you say about freedom today? What does that mean for you?
For me, the freedom means to be able to live life like according to have a peaceful life according to my values, have stability, not to run from adrenaline to exhaustion, but just to have stability, to be in control of all my own things, not letting anyone control of any part of me, and to enjoy life. Like that's kind of to have a balanced life where I can enjoy life, my work, my family, and all. Yeah, I don't still need the private jets, but I need some holidays in the sun every now and then.
When all of these difficult years, you said that they really affected your sense of trust and self-confidence. Where would you say that you are now with, are you able to trust people? Are you able to trust yourself and have confidence in yourself now?
Yeah, I'm quite confident, and I think I have quite good radar for people. Like I sense quite fast if there's, for example, someone that I do not want to work with. I sense quite fast about the energy and the behavior. So I think that's the radar that got really sensitive because of this. But I know I have a lot to go with the self-worth, and it doesn't maybe appear as such, but internally, yes, that's something that I really need to work on. But usually I trust people quite well nowadays, but I see as well. I know when I have a bit weird feeling about something, so then I usually try to trust my feeling, to walk away if possible.
Can you describe it a little bit more? Is it like a gut feeling, or how does it look like for you,
It
this?
is maybe a feel. It's maybe something that it makes me feel, and when I acknowledge my own feelings, that I get anxious, I get things start to roll my hair in my head. There are certain kind of dynamics of kind of putting you under a stress, and then something nice happens or the person says something nice and you release the stress of thinking, okay, maybe this partnership could work. That's a red flag for me. So when I see how my mind and body reacts, I know, okay, there's some dynamics that is not good for me. And it's not like I do not analyze so much about the other part, but I'm trying to analyze how I feel and ask myself, okay, and I've walked away from work due to these kind of situations that I say, okay, this is not good for
Mm.
me.
I think it's so important to share these experiences because we are so like trained to use our minds and be very very analytical and rational about the decisions, but when in reality these types of situations your mind may have all the reasons why you should do something
Mm.
because it makes sense on paper, but then when you listen to your body and your feelings, the decision may be completely different.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And I think we are not really taught of having this. And I was not aware of these kind of things earlier as well. So it's not something I think many of us learn it through life experience.
Yeah, and that's why I feel it's so important that we start, at least we women start sharing these experiences and not just like think that, oh, this is just something that I do like behind the scenes, and because this is genuine and valuable information and the ways to integrate our whole being into the decision making. Mm.
Yeah.
Are you able to look back to the old Heli and understand why she was doing what she was doing and have some gentle approach to her?
Yeah, I do and I can, but I think I'm not still totally accepted, and I still think I should have done this and I should have done that. So yeah, I'm still a lot of work in progress. Yeah, yeah, still a lot of work in progress.
Mm. Yeah, but it starts from the awareness. Mm.
Exactly. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, and I understand myself back at the days. I totally understand why I was like I was and why I acted like I acted, but it's just something maybe I'm not totally approaching it with gentleness.
Mm. What about the future? What are your big dreams? right now for you?
My big dreams, they include maybe a lot my business, how I can evolve it to have more clients that are aligned with my values and with who I am, and to change a bit the world of events as well, to be the unicorn who is doing things differently, and I really hope that I will kind of get my vision for people to know, so I could find the clients that want this kind of events and do business the same way. So that's a big dream. I want to have a lot of international clients, meet a lot of international people, but as well to have better life and work balance, to have more holidays, to enjoy life a bit more outside work as well,
Mm.
because being a single mother is a lot of work with running a business. So being a solopreneur and solo mother, so it's quite a daily hassle. So yeah, that's maybe my dream. I dream as
Mm.
well of living abroad maybe one day. I don't know if that's because there are other people who I need to think as well. So I don't know if that will happen, but to somehow combine my home country and international life is my big goal.
It will be interesting to see in 5 or 10 years where you are then, and if you are living abroad and
Yeah,
living your new dream.
yeah, for me as well. It's interesting to see.
Yes. If your dream client is listening, what would you like to say to your dream client?
Um, I maybe want to say that together we can build something that you cannot build with anyone else, because with this life experience and this vision of business events, if we share the same values, so I think we can reach goals that you cannot reach with other agencies or event managers or so on. So maybe that's, I really feel often my best projects and best clients, so to say, are people who kind of align with thoughts and style, and we connect a bit in a deeper level than a normal business relationship. So usually then the events are very successful, and the clients are very successful.
I got goosebumps when you were saying that you are creating experiences that no one else can do, and I firmly believe that is the capacity and potential that you have and what you are doing right now every day with your clients.
Mm.
Before we go, if there is someone listening who is in a toxic relationship right now, what would you like to say to them?
Would like to say that don't blame yourself. Take baby steps, like look for information, look for support, and take small steps. It will take time before everything works out, and don't blame yourself for that, because that's normal. It's not easy, and eventually you will have the breakthrough, and things will start to turn better after they've turned maybe a bit worse before, but then at the end it will turn better.
Mm, so important. There is hope.
Yes, yes, there's always hope, I think.
Mm.
Yeah.
Can you tell us where we can find more information if someone wants to reach out?
Yeah, so I'm happy for anyone who reaches out. As I said, I'm super interested in talking with people, meeting people, learning about people, making new connections. So anyone who feels like reaching out, I'm here. You can reach out in LinkedIn, for example. I'm trying to keep up with my posts, even it's a difficult platform where I feel I'm talking by myself. But anyway, I have an Instagram account, so you can contact me through Instagram as well. I'm not so actively posting there because I feel it takes a lot of more time that I have to use for that, and information you can find on my website as well.
Great. And I'll put all the links to the show notes. Thank you so much, Heli. It's been wonderful to hear about your story, and thank you so much for your openness and honesty. It's not easy to share these difficult life experiences, but I think that's super important and empowering for other people to hear that there's hope and like good examples that what life has to offer when you are brave enough to take the leap.
Thank you. And for me, I feel as well it was important to talk because publicly I've never really talked about these things. It's scary as well, but I feel it's something that I is my purpose as well to speak.
Yes. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.